Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball spring training games, look at today's games in each sport. I'll make my pick for the Masters, which is very exciting. My top 100 players in Major League Baseball, Masked Singer and Survivor, news and notes, and best bet. We're going to start with the NBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to a smaller window for tonight. 76ers over the Pacers, 131-122. Magic over the Cavs, 120-115. Nets over the Rockets, 118-105. Heat over the Hornets, 144-115. Raptors over the Hawks, 118-108. Bucks over the Bulls, 127-106. Wizards over the Timberwolves, 134-114. Thunder over the Trailblazers, 98-91. Spurs over the Nuggets, 116-97. Jazz over the Grizzlies, 121-115 in overtime. Pelicans over the Kings, 123-109. And the Suns over the Lakers, 121-110. As the Lakers are officially eliminated from playoff contention. What a disaster. Now we look ahead to tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Mavericks and the Pistons. I project for this game, Mavericks 13.5 total to 24 and a fifth, and it is 8-221. I'm going to lay 8 with Dallas. Luka Doncic is on a roll. He's going for the MVP, so I'm going to lay the points. 7:30 ESPN Nets Knicks from the Garden. It's the 75th season celebration game. So I wonder if we're going to have Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson on the call. Even though it's a bad team in the Knicks against a team in the Nets that's badly underachieved too. But for different reasons. My projection is Brooklyn by 4 3/4 till 237 and 7/20, and it's 6-229. Tough one because it's not bettable yet for me. Slight under. 8 o'clock, Wizards Hawks. My projection is Hawks 7.5 total 238 and 9/20, and it is 10.5 and 233. Wizards and under over would be a fun same game, but I'm going to go with the over. Celtics Bulls, my projection is Celtics by 2 total 239 and 3/20, and it's 7-223. I really like the over. It's not like Jason Tatum's not playing. I know the Bulls have been offensively challenged without their two guards. But DeMar DeRozan's still there. I just think this goes over. 9 o'clock, Thunder Jazz. My projection is Utah by 26.5 total 216 and 17/20. It's at 16.5 and 221.5. I'm going to lay the 16.5 of the Jazz. The Thunder have a ton of injuries. And 10 o'clock on ESPN, the Suns and the Clippers. The Suns fresh off eliminating the Lakers. I project as an 8.5-point favorite, total 239 and 3/10, and it's 1-227. I like the over too. I think that it's a fun pick. Paul George is playing. The Suns are still playing their guys. They're 2-0 for the playoffs, so I like the over for that game. All right, now move on to the NHL. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's smaller window. Sabres over the Hurricanes 4-2. Wow. Sens over the Habs 6-3. Panthers over the Maple Leafs 7-6 in overtime as the Leafs blow a 5-win lead. Game winner by Jonathan Huberdeau. Rangers over the Devils 3-1. Blue Jackets over the Flyers 4-2. Avs over the Penguins 6-4. Red Wings over the Bruins 5-3. Preds over the Wild 6-2. Stars over the Islanders 3-2. And the Oilers over the Sharks 2-1 in overtime. On a game winner by Connor McDavid. Who else? 5 games tonight at 7:30 on TNT. You have the Lightning and the Capitals. Good game. Maybe a round 1 preview. Lightning are minus 142, Caps are plus 118, over under 6, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 175, Capitals plus 1.5 is minus 215. Tough one. I'm going to go with the under. I think Vasilevsky will play well. And lower scoring game than you expect. Red Wings, Jets. Winnipeg minus 315. Detroit plus 250. Over under 6.5 minus 110 each way. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 106. Jets minus 1.5 is minus 113. I like the over. The Red Wings scored a lot of goals yesterday against Boston. But they tend to give up a lot of goals too, so I like the over. 8 o'clock, Kraken Blues. Blues minus 250, Kraken plus 202, over under 6, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Seattle plus 1.5 is minus 120, Blues minus 1.5 is even money. I'm going to go with the under based on the fact that the Kraken are sometimes inept offensively. 10 o'clock, the Canucks and the Golden Knights rematch from a good game from Sunday. Vegas minus 172, Canucks plus 142, over under 6, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 178, Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 146. Where things stand right now, Vegas is outside looking in with the Dallas win last night. They have 82 points, Vancouver has 74 points, so they're 9 back now because Dallas got the win. The question is, same as Sunday, who needs this game more? I say it's Vegas, they're home. I'm going to go with the Golden Knights in regulation at minus 110 over Vancouver to really put a nail in their coffin. And on TNT, the Flames and the Ducks. Vegas, Vancouver should be on TNT. The Ducks are awful. Flames minus 265, Ducks plus 215, over under 6, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Flames minus 1.5 and Ducks plus 1.5 are minus 110 each way. I'm going to go with the under. I think that Jacob Markstrom will have a good game. And like I said, the Ducks are just bad. So I like the under in that game a lot. All right, Major League Baseball spring training. I'll look back on yesterday's final full day and look ahead to a few games for today as we prep up for opening day tomorrow. Cardinals over to Marlins 7-0. Phillies over to Pirates 5-1. Nats over to Mets 14-zip. Braves over to Rays 1-zip. Twins lose to the Red Sox 10-6. Tigers over the Yankees 5-3. Blue Jays over to Orioles 2-1. Reds over to Mariners 12-9. Rangers over to Cubs 11-5. Brewers over to Royals 5-4. White Sox over to Padres 9-6. D-backs over to Guardians 3-1. A's and Giants 7-7 tie. Rockies over to Guardians 10-3. And the Dodgers over to Angels 5-0. Only a few games left. Oh no, just one. Orioles Tigers was supposed to play, that got canceled. 12:30 of the Phillies and the Rays in the final tune-up before the season, as it will all begin tomorrow. And by the way, if you haven't checked out my baseball prediction show, I suggest you do so. Alrighty, now we'll talk about the Masters. I'm so excited for this. I think the biggest storyline by a mile, and it's not even close, and you can't convince me otherwise, the return of the GOAT, Tiger Woods, is back. I'm so excited, and I think it's going to be a really fun Masters. I think that it's really intriguing whether Tiger's going to make the cut or not. I think that he very well could. Will he win? Probably not, but I really think that he's going to perform better than some folks think. All right, and some tee times. 8 o'clock, you have J.J. Spawn and Jose Maria Olazabal. At 8:11, you got Austin Greaser, Mike Weir, and Padraig Harrington. 8:22, Sepp Straka, Larry Mize, and Francesco Molinari. 8:33, we're just going to do notables now. You have Garrick Higo. 8:44, you have Kyung-Hoo Lee and Ryan Palmer. 8:55, Hudson Swafford, Cam Young. 906, Henry Higgs, Brian Harmon, Stuart Sink. 917, Siwoo Kim, Zach Johnson. 939, Matt Wolf, Luke List, Mackenzie Hughes. 950, Taylor Gooch, Justin Kokrak. 1001, Kevin Na, Shane Lowry, Max Homa. 1012, Kevin Kisner, Tommy Fleetwood, Daniel Berger. 1023, Bryson DeChambeau, Paul Casey, Cam Smith. 1034, Joaquin Neiman, Louis Olson, and the one and only Tiger Woods. 1045, Justin Thomas, Hideki Matsuyama. 1056, Scotty Scheffler, Adam Scott, Tony Finau. 1118, you have Stuart Hagstead and Sandy Lyle. 1129, Cam Champ, Evan Van Rooyen, Lucas Glover. 1140, Crispin Ziedenhout, Cam Davis. 1151, Robert McIntyre and Charles Schwartzel. 1202, Justin Rose, Gary Woodland. 1213, Corey Connors, Lee Westwood, Ryan Henley. 1224, Lucas Herbert, Seamus Power, Patrick Reed. 1235, Taylor Hogue, Bubba Watson. 1257, Sungjae M, Webb Simpson, Mark Leishman. 108, Sergio Garcia. 119, Sam Burns, Abraham Ramsey, Tyrell Hatton. 130, Colin Marikwa, Dustin Johnson, Brad Horschel. 141, Patrick Cantlay, Walter Zalatoris, John Rahm. 152, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth. And 203, Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, and Matt Fitzpatrick. I think it's going to be a great Masters. I think it's the most highly anticipated Masters in a long time. And how many years ago did Tiger win? 3? I remember I led the podcast with it and everything. So my pick for the Masters, I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele, 24-1 to win the Masters this year. Others that I think are good value, I wish Tiger was at a bigger number. He was at like 80-1 now. He's at 48-1. Bryson's at 50. Sungjae M's at 70. Patrick Reed 75. Gary Woodland's 85. Bubba's 85. Webb Simpson's 130. A lot of big names that have some good value for the Masters. But your favorites, John Rahm at 12-1. Justin Thomas is 13. Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson, Scotty Scheffler all 15. Brooks, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, Victor Hovland all at 19. Colin Marikwa and Patrick Cantlay are 22. Xander, who I just took as my pick, is 24. Walter Zalatoris is 32. Sam Burns is 37. Shane Lowry is 43. Joaquin Neiman, Hideki Matsuyama, each 44. Tiger, Tony Finau, Matt Fitzpatrick, Daniel Berger, Louis Olson are all 48-1 and 50-1. You have Bryson, Russell Henley, Corey Connors. And then you're starting to get into like the 55-1 range with some of these odds. All right, now I'm going to do my top 100 players list for the season. First, though, I'm going to do some honorable mentions. Close, but no cigar. Jonathan India, Reds. Teoscar Hernandez, Blue Jays. Charlie Blackmon, Rockies. Kenley Jansen, Braves. Craig Kimbrell, Dodgers. Liam Hendricks, White Sox. Wilson Contreras, Cubs. Yasmani Grandal, White Sox. Emmanuel Clace, Guardians. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Blue Jays. So, 10 honorable mentions. And now the top 100 players of baseball as we head into the season. Number 100, Dansby Swanson, Atlanta Braves. 99, Joe Musgrove, San Diego Padres. 98, Kyle Hendricks, Chicago Cubs. 97, Luis Castillo, Cincinnati Reds. 96, Gleyber Torres, New York Yankees. 95, Yohan Moncada, Chicago White Sox. 94, Eugenio Suarez, Seattle Mariners. 93, Brandon Rogers, Colorado Rockies. 92, Ozzy Albies, Atlanta Braves. 91, Jorge Polanco, Minnesota Twins. 90, Aroldis Chapman, New York Yankees. 89, Robbie Rice, Seattle Mariners. 88, Starling Marte, New York Mets. 87, Michael Brantley, Houston Astros. 86, Tim Anderson, Chicago White Sox. 85, Jorge Soler, Miami Marlins. 84, Blake Snell, San Diego Padres. 83, Nicholas Castellanos, Philadelphia Phillies. 82, Justin Turner, Los Angeles Dodgers. 81, Charlie Morton, Atlanta Braves. 80, Kyle Schwarber, Philadelphia Phillies. 79, Max Muncy, Los Angeles Dodgers. 78, Rhys Hoskins, Philadelphia Phillies. 77, Lorenzo Cain, Milwaukee Brewers. 76, Lance Lynn, Chicago White Sox. 75, Ketel Marte, Arizona Diamondbacks. 74, Brandon Lau, Tampa Bay Rays. 73, Frankie Montas, Oakland Athletics. 72, Mike Yastrzemski, San Francisco Giants. 71, Mitch Haniger, Seattle Mariners. 70, Yu Darvish, San Diego Padres. 69, Will Smith, Los Angeles Dodgers. 68, Peter Alonso, New York Mets. 67, Jose Abreu, Chicago White Sox. 66, Marcus Semien, Texas Rangers. 65, Julio Urias, Los Angeles Dodgers. 64, Whit Merrifield, Kansas City Royals. 63, Giancarlo Stanton, New York Yankees. 62, J.D. Martinez, Boston Red Sox. 61, Mike Soroka, Atlanta Braves. 60, Randy Arozarena, Tampa Bay Rays. 59, Tyler O'Neill, St. Louis Cardinals. 58, Austin Riley, Atlanta Braves. 57, Jose Ramirez, Cleveland Guardians. 56, Jesse Winker, Seattle Mariners. 55, Alek Manoah, Toronto Blue Jays. 54, Wander Franco, Tampa Bay Rays. 53, Javier Baez, Detroit Tigers. 52, Josh Hader, Milwaukee Brewers. 51, Byron Buxton, Minnesota Twins. 50, Chris Hale, Boston Red Sox. 49, Clayton Kershaw, Los Angeles Dodgers. 48, George Springer, Toronto Blue Jays. 47, JT Realmuto, Philadelphia Phillies. 46, Matt Olson, Atlanta Braves. 45, Aaron Nola, Philadelphia Phillies. 44, Yordan Alvarez, Houston Astros. 43, Kyle Tucker, Houston Astros. 42, Eloy Jimenez, Chicago White Sox. 41, Paul Goldschmidt, St. Louis Cardinals. 40, Matt Chapman, Toronto Blue Jays. 39, Salvador Perez, Kansas City Royals. 38, Christian Yelich, Milwaukee Brewers. 37, Manny Machado, San Diego Padres. 36, Joey Gallo, New York Yankees. 35, Jose Barrios, Toronto Blue Jays. 34, Bo Bichette, Toronto Blue Jays. 33, Luis Robert, Chicago White Sox. 32, Francisco Lindor, New York Mets. 31, Anthony Rendon, Los Angeles Angels. 30, Lucas Giolito, Chicago White Sox. 29, Jack Flaherty, St. Louis Cardinals. 28, Brandon Woodruff, Milwaukee Brewers. 27, Max Fried, Atlanta Braves. 26, Walker Buehler, Los Angeles Dodgers. 25, Xander Bogaerts, Boston Red Sox. 24, Chris Bryant, Colorado Rockies. 23, Trey Turner, Los Angeles Dodgers. 22, Cody Bellinger, Los Angeles Dodgers. 21, Corbin Burns, Milwaukee Brewers. 20, Carlos Correa, Minnesota Twins. 19, Alex Bregman, Houston Astros. 18, Rafael Devers, Boston Red Sox. 17, Shane Bieber, Cleveland Guardians. 16, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Toronto Blue Jays. 15, Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals. 14, Freddie Freeman, Los Angeles Dodgers. 13, Corey Seager, Texas Rangers. 12, Max Scherzer, New York Mets. 11, Jose Altuve, Houston Astros. 10, Bryce Harper, Philadelphia Phillies. 9, Garrett Cole, New York Yankees. 8, Aaron Judge, New York Yankees. 7, Mookie Betts, Los Angeles Dodgers. 6, Ronald Acuna Jr., Atlanta Braves. 5, Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres. 4, Jacob deGrom, New York Mets. 3, Juan Soto, Washington Nationals. 2, Mike Trout, Los Angeles Angels. And number 1, Shohei Ohtani, Los Angeles Angels. I took Ohtani over Trout because Ohtani finally showed last year what he was capable of, and Mike Trout low-key's become injury-prone over the last several years. And I just want to give your reigning AL MVP the benefit of the doubt here. And Trout is still Trout. Juan Soto's on a terrible team, but he's an amazing player. DeGrom's hurt, but he's the best pitcher in the game still. Tatis is going to start the year on the injured list. Same with Acuna, but they're both great. Mookie Betts will be, I predicted for the NL MVP award. Aaron Judge is one of the best players in baseball. Garrett Cole's the second best pitcher in the game, and then Bryce Harper, your reigning NL MVP. I had to put him in the top 10. All right, now I'm going to preview tonight's episode of The Masked Singer. Group B will be back again, and one contestant will be unmasked at the end of the show. From Team Cuddly, we had Miss Teddy. She performed Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane. This could be a variant of different people. This could be somebody old school, like a Donna Summer or a Gloria Gaynor, or somebody in that realm, Anita Baker. Or it could be somebody like a little bit younger than that. Jenny guessed Jill Scott, who some people thought the skunk was last season. Robin said Cece Pence, and Nicole said Loretta Devine. From Team Bad was Hydra. They were a 3-headed monster, dragon kind of character. They performed Hey Soul Sister by Train. I really believe this is the three amigos, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase. I think it'd be a huge disappointment and letdown if it's not them. The clues matched up. There's a 3-ball, and it also said, ask your amigos. And one of the voices in that head sounded like Martin Short. Jenny McCarthy suggested The Big Lebowski, which is an interesting guess. It's more of the Saturday Night Live guys. Steve Buscemi, Jeff Bridges, and John Goodman. So we'll see about that. Then from Team Good came the Ringmaster, who I thought was the best contestant last week. She performed The Climb by Miley Cyrus. There's a lot of hints about Disney, and there's a picture of Miley Cyrus and a statue of the state of Montana. Nicole threw out Olivia Rodrigo, but didn't sound like Olivia. Robin threw out Casey Musgraves. That's irrelevant when it comes to Disney clues. Same with Kelly Clarkson, which was the worst guest of the episode. And then the celebrity BFF was John Oates. And then went Lemur. And she performed I Feel the Earth Move by Carole King. Ken Jeong suggested Heather Lockyer and Jennifer Anderson. Jenny said Melanie Griffin and Molly Shannon. Nicole thought Goldie Hawn. And then from the Team Good went Armadillo. There were rocks. There's an umbrella. And this person performed Secret Agent Man by Johnny Rivers. I think this could be Howie Mandel. There was like a clean clue that made me think of bald head. And who has a bald head? And who's a comedian? Howie Mandel. Jenny guessed Vin Diesel. Nicole said Eric Strodder. And Ken threw a ridiculous guess of Chuck Norris. And Lemur went home. My first impression guess of Lemur was Normani. And my final guess was Meryl Streep. Because I felt it was somebody that was like in her realm. And kind of reminded me of her a little bit. Nicole's final was Goldie Hawn. Jenny's final was Pamela Anderson. Robin's was Melanie Griffin. Ken's was Christy Brinkley, and it was indeed Christy Brinkley, the ex-wife of Billy Joel. She played Roxanne in Chicago. There was a lot of hints that were leading towards Brinkley. It was a good guy for the show. And if you ask me who goes home tonight, I'm going to say it's Hydra. Wouldn't rule out Miss Teddy and wouldn't rule out Armadillo. I think Ringmaster's a lock to the final. She's the best contestant, easy. I don't think she's as good as Queen of Hearts was last season. But I think she's the front runner to win the competition. Like, she is phenomenal, the Ringmaster. I'd be stunned if she went home tonight. But I'm going to say Hydra goes home, and it is indeed the Three Amigos. And it would be surreal if it were to be them. Alrighty, so now we'll talk Survivor. Last week's episode was very interesting. They're back again tonight. The reward challenge, in groups of 3, the tribes had to untangle themselves from braided ropes and go over various obstacles before using the rings to hook and pull them towards them a wooden sled. And then from the sled, they collected balls and attempted to land all 4 in a vertical cage target. And the first tribe to finish won 10 fish, which Taku won. And then the immunity challenge, 2 members from each tribe went to a boat and hauled in the remaining members in the boat through the water to a platform, and 2 other members leaped into the water attempting to grab the keys before entering the boat again and getting pulled to a floating platform where they used the keys to unlock puzzle pieces and solve the hanging fish puzzle. And the first 2 tribes to finish won immunity, and the losing tribe had to forfeit their flint. And Taku was just incredible. They cruised to another victory. And Vadi finished second barely over Ika, who had to go to tribal council. And there was no decision game Castaway in the last episode, which was very interesting. So the person who had to go home with the vote of 3-1 was Swati. Drea voted Swati. So did Romero and Tori. And Tori was voted by Roxroy. And Swati didn't have a vote because they played the shot in the dark. And they had to sacrifice their vote. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up coming out. Vati has 5 members left. Ika has 4. Taku has 4. I think Vati is due for a little bit of regression. So I think we'll see Vati in tribal council tonight. And the contestant that I can see getting voted off, here's Lydia. She was nearly voted off a few weeks ago, and I'm going to predict that it's Lydia, who's very young, who's shown some good things in the show, but I think her time is up on Survivor. So I'm going to predict Vati goes to tribal council and Lydia goes home. I was right about Ika going to council last week, but I was wrong about who got voted out. So obviously this could change as I watch the episode. But it's just an early prediction without knowing any inside information. All right, now I'm going to go over today's news and notes. coming down the pipe right now, Yankees Red Sox tomorrow will be postponed due to inclement weather. It'll be moved to Friday, as the same will be said for the Mariners Twins. So 2 baseball games getting postponed. 2 good series is 2 against 4 playoff hopefuls in the American League. Rather postpone them now than tomorrow, because what if people are driving up to the Bronx tomorrow and they see on their phone, oh, game postponed, and they turn around and go home. They don't want that. So good decisions by the Yankees and the Twins to get this done now rather than tomorrow. Bills extend Stephon Diggs 4 years, $104 million, with $70 million guaranteed, as he is tied to the team through 2027. I think that is a great extension for Stephon Diggs. He's a great wide receiver. He's Josh Allen's number 1 target. And Josh Allen seemed very thrilled about it, as he should be. That's his top guy. Titans are not shopping A.J. Brown, as they made it clear. It is working towards signing him to an extension amid trade rumors. So that is something to watch out for, obviously. Obviously, with the Lakers being eliminated, Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report hears that the Lakers are expected to fire Frank Vogel, and among potential candidates to take over are Quinn Snyder and Doc Rivers. You know the Lakers are going to go big name hunting. It can't be David Fizdale. He's a joke of a head coach. You guys know how I feel about David Fizdale. He was awful at the Knicks. He would be a train wreck with the Lakers. Not meant for a big market. He's an assistant. He was a LeBron product. You know how I feel about Fizdale. But the other guy everyone's sleeping on is Tyronn Lue. That's who they wanted all along, and they didn't hire him for some reason. So my prediction is that ultimately Tyronn Lue leaves the Clippers after the season and goes to the Lakers. I really believe it's going to be Tyronn Lue, and it's going to be a bad look for the Clippers. And on the safe side of things, looks like Tom Thibodeau is not on the hot seat, as he has support from the locker room, GM, and ownership, and won't be let go at the end of the year. I think that's the right call by the Knicks. I really do. People might disagree with me, but I think a lot went wrong for them this year. They blew a lot of big leads and close games. They've had some injuries at wrong times. There are teams that were unexpectedly good, which hurt them, like Cleveland and Chicago and Toronto for that matter. And the East was good this year. It's not great, but it's deep. And somebody was going to underachieve and be a disappointment, and it was unfortunately the Knicks. So that's probably how they looked at it. And the fall guy is probably going to be Julius Randle, as it should be. They should have never extended him. They should have traded him in the offseason, and you can make a case they shouldn't have, because if they did, they would have been ripped by the media. Absolutely ripped. But I think he's the most likely player traded perhaps in the entire NBA. I mean, you could argue Dame Lillard, obviously. People think it's going to be Donovan Mitchell. But maybe they can package Randle plus to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. And you pair up Donovan with RJ Barrett. And you re-sign Mitchell Robinson. And that's a pretty nice foundation. And just get the right role players. And you finally get yourself a point guard. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And I do think Tom Thibodeau deserves one more year. And if they are disappointing again next year, then you fire him. Like, he's not Joe Judge, for crying out loud. And he's not David Fizdale. He's not Derek Fisher. You can go on and on with bad coaches from this town. He's not Mickey Callaway. This is Tom Thibodeau, who was the coach of the year a year ago, should not be fired. Jabari Smith to the NBA draft after his stellar year at Auburn. A lot of people think he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. We'll see about that. Bulls might shut down Lonzo Ball for the season, as there's less and less optimism that he'll return. That's unfortunate. That'll really hurt them in the playoffs because they need somebody like Lonzo. So here's something very interesting that I would like to bring up. Duke legend and ESPN analyst Jay Williams think that Mike Krzyzewski could delay his retirement and return to the program next year. We'll see. He's predicting that he pulls a Tom Brady. And John Shire waits another year to take over. That would be wilder than Tom Brady, because there was speculation about Tom Brady. Now there's speculation about Coach K because of Tom Brady as like the comparison. And they're like, if Tom Brady can do it, why can't Coach K? We'll see. Breaking news, we have to talk about this. Jose Ramirez and the Cleveland Guardians are in agreement on a 5-year, $124 million contract extension. Ramirez guaranteed $150 million. Okay, so much for my prediction that he was going to be traded this year. Good for Ramirez and the Guardians. They keep an asset. And maybe they're good sooner rather than later. And maybe the guy they end up trading maybe is Shane Bieber. But that's crazy that they got this done before the year. Remember, the Mets and Lindor got it done. And now all eyes are in the Bronx with Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees. That's the contract extension that has to happen. Or else their season's going to be messy. Padres eyeing Jose Ramirez? Nope, not so much, not so fast. The Padres and the Blue Jays wanted him. Bobby Witt Jr. makes the Royals roster. That is great news for Kansas City. And then back to college basketball. St. Peter's, their big three are all entering the transfer portal. This is something that isn't really surprising with Shaheem Holloway moving on to Seton Hall. You see this every year in college basketball, where the little engine that could team, which this year is St. Peter's in the tournament, loses guys due to transfer. So Darryl Banks, Matthew Lee, and Doug Eddard all entering the portal. And it comes 1 week after Holloway leaves to become the head coach at Seton Hall. Ryan Getzlaf to retire after the season. All-time leading scorer for the Anaheim Ducks, and he's their captain. Great year for Ryan Getzlaf. Really good career. One of the more underrated careers. He was a Stanley Cup champion back in 2007. And it's just very sad that the team did have a little bit of a resurgence in terms of being a contender for a few years in the mid-2010s. But they never really put it all together. And the Ducks haven't made the playoffs in a really long time. Jack Hughes done for the year with the low-grade MCL sprain. So Jack Hughes is going to rest up and be prepared for next year. Devils are out of it anyway, so they're pretty much tanking. Barack Obama spoke at the White House about Obamacare. News his first visit since 2017. JetBlue makes bid to buy Spirit Airlines for $3.6 billion. And the U.S. is expected to slap Putin's two daughters with sanctions this week. So that's the non-sports news that I want to touch on real quick. We'll see how the sanctions go with Putin's daughters. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There was one total that I had a big edge on again for the NBA. And that total is the over in the Celtics Bulls game, 222. I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got to be playing, right? If that's the case, that's a no-brainer. I love this over. So give me one unit on over 222 between the Celtics and the Bulls as my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all these games. Look ahead to tomorrow. Same with the NHL. We'll preview and predict opening day. We'll make picks for all the opening day games. Then we'll recap Masked Singer. I will try to do an activity, maybe an NFL mock draft for you. And then obviously news and notes and best bet. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.